Hey everybody, welcome back to After the Wire, only here on bloodhorse.com. I'm Evan Hammonds. We just experienced a whirlwind week at Churchill Downs with some memorable performances, but none of them were more memorable than what was put in by a pair of 3-year-olds in I'll Have Another and Bodemeister in the Run for the Roses. Now, if you followed past episodes of this show, you may have caught my preference for I'll Have Another, as noted in the pre-Derby edition where I pegged his Robert Lewis effort back in February as the top prep of the 2012 Triple Crown season. Now, I'll Have Another's Derby run under relative newcomer Mario Gutierrez was as smooth as a long sip of Woodford Reserve. Now, post-19 may have bothered some, but it didn't bother me, and apparently it didn't bother I'll Have Another. The break, the run under the wire for the first time, and heading into the first bend was a dreamlike experience for I'll Have Another. Now, it was not so dreamlike for second choice Union Rags. It was pretty much out of the race after the first 100 yards after being squeezed back with Take Charge Indy and Doulahan coming out of the gate. Union Rags was shuffled back to 18th position. It was a tough break that pretty much cost him all chance. Now, however, on the front end, everybody assumed Trinneberg was going to set the pace, but it was Mike Smith and the eager and maybe overeager Bodemeister who took the early advantage. The opening fractions of the Derby were insane. 22-1, 45-1, and 6 furlongs in 109-4. However, Bodemeister looked like he was cruising right along, and Trinneberg and Hansen, both really fast horses, were struggling to keep pace. Now, how long could Bodemeister keep it up? We didn't know. But poor Trinneberg tried to make a run of it, couldn't get a body on him. Now, down the backstretch, and as they went around the bend, Bodemeister looked flat out Spendabuck-esque. As Bodemeister turned for home, the rest of the field was out on Central Avenue. But at the 8th pole, reality set in. Now, it might have been the Ghost of Apollo, the last horse to win the Derby, having not raced at 2, but more likely it was the freaky, fast fractions that got the better of our man Bodie. But I'll Have Another was able to reel him in. Even with the final quarter mile in 26 4/5 seconds, the fact that Bodemeister held for second tells us volumes about his class and ability. Now, the Kentucky Derby is a race that favors a special few and punishes most of the others. Union Rags had a brutal trip, and as did others that also drew inside. Doulahan, who looked like a beast on the walkover, had to come very wide in the lane. It probably cost him some precious real estate, and went the day well, was swallowed up early, but he ran a fantastic final quarter mile. Take Charge Indy, we found out, has come up with a bone chip. Now, we're not going to take, and you can't take anything away from the winner. Throughout the entire race, he was exactly where he needed to be. Next up, of course, is the Preakness Stakes, which is a 1/16 of a mile shorter than the Derby. And if you stop the video of the Derby replay as they hit the 16th pole, there's only 2 of them in the picture, Bodemeister and I'll Have Another. We have that to think about for the next 2 weeks. Now, we also can't dismiss Believe You Can's run past Broadway's Alibi Friday in the Kentucky Oaks. The daughter of Proud Citizen set the backstretch abuzz with her workout earlier in the week, and it was pleasantly surprising to see her on the tote board at 13-1. Much like I'll Have Another, she had a nice stalking trip. She rallied to catch the leader, who had yet to go beyond a mile, and outlasted her in the stretch. Now, Grace Hall rallied, but throughout the stretch, it was essentially a 2-horse race. Now, we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge some of the other stellar efforts on the weekend. Shackelford and sprint champ Amazombi gave us a thrill ride we won't soon forget in the Churchill Downs Stakes, seeing last year's Preakness winner throw down a timing of 121.06 for the 7 furlongs, and then 2 races later, see Groupie Doll lowered the standards to 120.44 with her tour de force in the Humana Distaff. On Oaks Day, the Patterson boys, that's B and Graydon, did it again with Juanita, winning on Oaks Day for the 2nd year in a row and winning their 2nd Grade 2 with their $25,000 claim. Now, she wasn't good enough to run with Havre de Grace at Fairgrounds. Who was? But she was right as rain in the La Troyenne. I want to thank you for watching After the Wire. I'm Evan Hammonds for bloodhorse.com. Come on back next week. We'll see you then.